So, so getting kind of more national here, the way I see it is like we're at a point where, 2020 is very significant for the Green Party because you're going to be facing one or two scenarios here. One, Bernie Sanders is the nominee for the Democratic Party, in which case you have what I would see as a bigger ally to the Greens than we've ever seen, potentially for the White House, definitely in my lifetime, possibly ever. Another scenario, you have Joe Biden versus Donald Trump, where you have two absolutely horrific choices, and you're going to have a new group of people. You already have it, but you're going to have a new group of people who are kind of looking around going, where do I go? And they're going to be looking for the answer. So how would you say you drive home the message that the Green Party is that answer that they're looking for? We live in a country now where to the millennials and to Gen Z, socialism isn't a bad word anymore. We're getting away from those stigmas. So how do you really, I guess, for lack of a better way to put it, bring more people into that fold on the electoral end of things?
There are multiple sides to this. There is the messaging, of course, but there's also the strategy and the footwork. I would say messaging-wise, our campaign has a very strong and focused message that drives home how comprehensive our values and our platform are. I believe in the statement that we're the party of justice for the earth and for all of its people. And so we have this full-throated environmental platform, and we've discussed the Green New Deal, we've discussed our green path forward and the many ways in which we're going to ensure for environmental sustainability and stability. But people are hurting. People are hurting all across this country. And when I campaign for the Green Party, if I'm in a line of early voters in Youngstown, Ohio, and I'm talking to someone who just lost their job at a GM plant, they're not sure how to help their kids with their homework, the kids don't have materials to even bring home, they've got all sorts of multifaceted real-world issues. The first thing I'm going to say to them is not going to be, hey, have you heard about the Green New Deal? Yes, we're going to talk about that, but it's not at the heart of what they're facing. And what has to be recognized is that there are multiple conversations to be had, and first and foremost, there are multiple opportunities to listen, to be taken advantage of. People want to be heard desperately, and they're looking for a populist candidate that makes them feel heard. What we have is the perfect marriage of a responsive party, a listening party, along with an actual platform that's going to solve their problems. And so we offer uniquely, our campaign offers things like the People of Color Bill of Rights, which is an emphasis on the gap between the rights we're said to have in this country and the experience of millions and millions of this country's minorities, tackling the deficit in terms of justice in this country, ensuring community control of police and reform of our justice system, banning private prisons, dealing with the fact that so many urban areas have been cheated out of local control and say in education, ensuring that we have equality, equity in terms of banking and financial systems access for people of color. We have so many issues to deal with and to tackle. The stories I hear in the campaign trail, the tear-filled stories about night raids that have come and taken people's loved ones because they do not have documentation. Documentation or no, they're human beings and they deserve to be treated that way. All of these stories make up the essence of what our campaign is about, our people-centered focus. And so, yes, we're about the environment, but we're about people first and foremost, all living things first and foremost. We're about an agenda that advances the progress of our society. So that has to be emphasized. In terms of organizing, I was a local leader for the Youngstown Area Green Party, for the Mahoning Valley Green Party. And one of the things that I noticed around me, to be blunt, was that there weren't many other people who looked like me. I looked around the table and it was mostly the same people who've been doing the same activism for decades and decades on end, roughly the same age range, the same demographics. And that's not a slight against any of them. They were active in those causes and they contributed positively to those causes. But we definitely need to engage in some outreach and out of the box thinking. You know, I'm the only person running in this race who has held elected office, who has run for and won elected office as a write-in, in fact. And one of the things I learned in making that happen was you have to get out there and be where people are and connect with them. They're not just going to come to you. You need to show them that you're engaged with them and the causes and the community engagements that are important to them. So even though I'm a rabbi and I'm Jewish, I would go to local Black churches. And I would wait for the time when they would announce the local visitors, and I would say, "Hi, my name is Dario Hunter, and I'm representing, whatever the organization would be," and have these breakout conversations with people afterwards. So as a party, we need to be where people are. We need to connect with all these different causes that may not be political or partisan or willing to endorse us as a party, but are traveling in the same direction in progress, in moving the discussion and the agenda forward. And that's how we're going to bring people in. So I think those organizational steps are absolutely necessary. I think you're not going to just having a polished message is not going to cut through all of the noise and all of the ways the deck is stacked against us money-wise if you're not out there and connecting with the people.
Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and